Grief can be an extremely challenging state to navigate, and while it is highly personal, it can be very isolating as well. Today we will explore the role that community plays in supporting grief. Welcome to Grief Support That Works. I'm Jo McRogers, and I'm so glad that you have found us here today for this video. Consider us your community. Grief needs to be seen, heard, held, and experienced in real time in a safe, respectful space. A space that allows grief to breathe, to evolve, to be explored, or to be silent, or to wail. Obviously, I believe that therapy is one of those places. I am a grief therapist. However, I also believe that community plays an important role in supporting grief. When our grief is spoken into a loving, supportive community, it shifts. Its energies change from needing to defend itself, from being hidden versus visible, from being under the radar to being illuminated and lifted. A community can do this. It is important to acknowledge that grief is the one universal experience that we will all share. An author named Prechtel describes grief as a poem. No matter how messy, inappropriate, amateurish, or loud, it deserves to be heard. I love this quote. In this day and age, social media has become an important source of grief support. #grief shows 570 million hits on a Google search. #grief on YouTube shows 27,000 videos, one of which is this. The platform called TikTok is a major source of social media, and I admit I've been quick to dismiss TikTok as being like a young person's phenomenon. But I was so wrong when I did my research. What surprised me is that TikTok has actually started their own little side stream of grief, and it's called #GriefTalk. GriefTalk. Grief Talk. At this moment, as I made this video, Grief Talk has 370.8 million views and 5.6 million videos. The very basic #grief has 1.4 billion views, and #grief journey has over 338 million views. Clearly, grief craves a community. I have heard time and time again from clients in my private practice that they crave a space where they were guaranteed acceptance in a common starting space. I've had this wandering big conversation with a friend who is a funeral director about establishing our own quaint little grief village, a beautiful town where grievers come to stay for a period of time. When couples are married, they have a honeymoon. When babies are born, we speak about the baby moon, but no one speaks about a grief moon in order to integrate this life transition that grief brings. Becoming visible with our grief through a community serves as a means to normalize grief. Community actually promotes individual, unique grief experiences where you aren't worried about being judged, and then you can move into your relationship with your own unique grief. It's like an exhale, a relief that you are actually now talking about the loss and its impact upon you instead of filtering or editing to protect your loss or to protect those around you. We all protect one another when we are grieving. A community supports challenges and hard times. It landmarks and celebrates the triumphs of grief, and these can all be shared in a safe community. There are many ways to find your own grief community near you. Check out the churches, the funeral homes, peer support groups, groups that are local to your cultural centers. All of these need to be explored as avenues of grief communities. There are many online grief communities that I know of and often refer my clients to. David Kessler holds the Tender Hearts community. Devine holds a grief writing community. Sutton holds a community for those who have lost their partner. Paul Denniston has a grief yoga community called Spark. Paul kindly gifted me the training, and I can tell you that it is a transformative experience. And because I have been asked by many to create my own community, I've now opened the registration again for our online community called the Grievolution Collective. because I believe that we do need to do grief differently, and part of doing it differently is in a community. I've left the links to all of these online communities in the comments below. I know I've probably missed so many valuable online global resources, so please leave any that you are aware of in the resources below. We can all seek them out in the comments as a community. It's important to know that these communities are therapeutic. While they aren't therapy by traditional definitions, one-to-one therapy can be so intense for certain individuals at certain times, and that alone can make it wrong for you at a particular time or place. Communities are a diffuse, supportive collective that sees and holds and supports your grief. So please do your research and find which of these communities might be right for you. Extend your support to your grief through community. Connection, validity, and togetherness can be found in these online global communities. So as you work to find your way to your grief community, I send you kind thoughts, kind words, and a kind heart. Thank you so much, and take good care.